Hello and welcome to the Movie Buff show on YouTube. Today, Mark Ziobro from the Movie Buff talks to director Lynn Roth and actor August Maturo from the recent theatrical release Shepherd, the Story of a Jewish Dog. The movie, which takes place during the Jewish Holocaust of World War II, takes place in Germany, following from the height of the Nuremberg laws through to the concentration camps. It is a story of hope. This time, rather than focus on the horrors of war, the film centers on a dog named Caleb who starts off with a Jewish family until they are taken to the camps. He's ultimately trained by an SS officer and helps hunt down Jewish fugitives. The film centers on the bond the dog has with both owners, as well as raising important questions about bonding, racism, and more. During our discussion with Lynn and August, we discussed the film, its aim and intention, acting alongside different dogs for the film, and having a theatrical run against bigger budget films like Cruella. Stay tuned till the end, where we discuss social media links and websites to explore the film further. Thank you and enjoy the show.
You know.
So I had to start the thing.
Oh, you mean when I was talking about the stars in my neighborhood? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you grow up in LA?
No, I grew up in New York.
Oh, New York City.
Huntington, Long Island.
Nice.
And you? Where were you born?
Oh, I'm born here. I live in Whitesboro. It's a suburb of Utica. Was in.
Comes Augie.
Here comes August. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been in Albany for a while, but been here my whole life. You know.
Hi, Augie. Long time.
Hi, August.
No see.
I'm Mark from the Movie Buff. Nice to meet you. I'm the one that.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm August.
Yeah.
You're the one who wrote all these great things about Augie.
Well, he did a great job.
That's why we're here.
And I'm ashamed of myself that I've never seen Girl Meets World, so I apologize.
You're too old. You're too old.
Seen Boy Meets World, but I do. August, I do have a question. So you're credited with How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yeah. I honestly don't remember being on How I Met Your Mother. I know I was on How I Met Your Mother, and some people freak out about that. Like my mom's like, "Oh my gosh, you don't remember you're on How I Met Your Mother?" I'm like,
yeah.
How old are you?
I don't think I was wondering. At first, I thought you might have been the kid that was in the scene at the beginning of each episode, just staring, you know.
I was 4 years old when I
filmed it. So that's awesome. That's still a good.
You don't remember? How dare you not remember?
Well, thank you both for joining us. I appreciate it. I never had two people on at once before, so we'll try to. You're the first. Well, no, that's not true. But the last time they were brother and sister, so it was a little bit different.
we're just very good friends.
Oh, that's great.
We've become very good friends.
So I guess I'll just start. Just had a few questions. I guess the first question, and I know I guess either one of you could answer. I tried to phrase tailor it towards so it makes sense. But Lynn, how did you come up with? I know that this is based on a book by Mr. Or Asher Kravitz, but why did you decide to bring this to the forefront now?
I didn't decide to bring it now. I've been working on it the whole process has been about 8 years.
8 years?
So, yeah, Augie was in diapers when this started.
Well, August, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 13 now.
You're 13 now. Okay.
I was 10 when I filmed. I was 10 when I filmed in the movie.
Okay, I guess 10. So it's awesome that I was pretty close. Okay, so you started working on this 8 years ago, Lynn?
8 years ago, yeah. Augie was 5 when I started working on it. Oh, geez.
Okay. So how did you connect with Mr. Kravitz, and why did you decide to bring this to film?
Well, I was actually teaching a class in Israel in filmmaking, a master class. And one of my students, I was teaching them how to pitch movie ideas and series ideas. And one of the students came and said, okay, here's the idea I'm pitching. And he started to tell the story about a book that a friend of his was going to write, not had written yet, but was going to write. And I heard the story and I went, okay, we're making this. We're doing it. This is too good an idea not to let go. I'm never letting go of this idea. And I didn't. I just thought this was the most interesting approach to this subject matter that I had heard in a very long time.
I think that's one of the things that was striking about it. And it's I told I'm gonna pronounce her name wrong. Issel? Is that
Bushel.
Oshel?
Yeah, it's Bushel without the B.
Okay. But I was talking to her about this. Like I almost hate it's like having a grade thing. So it's so, people look at the grade and they're not like thinking about what you write about, because the idea was so interesting with like what I thought it was going to be just from the dog's perspective. Like, have you seen Hachi?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like just a dog missing the family, and then it became, something much more than that, and was such a unique addition to like all the other Holocaust narratives that we've seen in cinema. And I just, I'm guessing in the book it was a German Shepherd also. That wasn't like a unique.
Well, actually, the picture that Usher has on the cover of his book is a kind of it's more like the RCA Victor dog. Remember that dog?
Oh yeah, of
it's
course.
A little bit more, and I don't think you know this, Augie, right? And I think that I made it a German Shepherd so that it would be realistic that dog would be picked up to be a guard dog.
Yeah,
I don't want to do too much spoiler if people see this.
Yeah, that's true, because you just got. I tried to do it correctly on IMDb. It said 2019. I'm guessing you did film festivals then. And
yes, that was our plan. 2019 was our festivals, and we were going to devote a year to that. And then 2020 we were doing our theatrical release. We were booked in some of much of the same schedule that we're in now. Now, and then history happened.
Then COVID happened. Yeah, but I mean, I think it was, now that it's we won't do spoilers, because I didn't read like the whole description until I was like halfway through the movie, and then I saw what was going to happen, because I thought it was so interesting how the dog is just like, the family's just gone, the dog's like returning home, and we know what happened, but it's really well done that you don't like show it.
Yeah, well, it's a shift focus. Focus is what happens at that point in the movie, and it's risky doing that in the middle of a movie. But I thought I thought that kind of untraditional storytelling might be effective for this.
Yeah, plus everybody knows what happened. Not really, but largely like what happens, and it's like kind of like you focus on a different aspect of it without needing to get into. I mean, I couldn't get a rating off. Is it rated R? Is it rated PG-13? PG-13?
We don't have a rating. No, we don't.
You don't have a. I'm guessing it's more of a PG-13. There's not a lot of like devastating sequences.
Right. Exactly. I mean, Augie knows better than I do because he's 13 and he watches these movies. But I think some of the movies kids are watching now should be rated R. I mean, they're so violent. They're so incredibly violent. Nobody even sees the violence anymore. This is, under, it seems, more scrutiny, but.
Yeah, because it's about the Holocaust.
Right, exactly.
Probably what the scrutiny is. I forgot. There was some actress I read. I can't remember who it was. It was mad that they didn't rate her film like R in England. I forgot who it was now. It's escaping me. But they give it a PG-13 rating. Kids shouldn't be seeing this. Like, it's just ridiculous. but
she wanted an R.
I forgot. Oh, it was Kristen Scott Thomas, Only God Forgives, and it was rated whatever England uses for their rating. It was like for teens, and she said, "This is horrific. Like, you should."
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, she thought it was too like not rated strictly enough. But August, do you want to go by Augie or August? Like,
it doesn't matter.
Okay. I wanted to ask you like what it was like. So you were 5 when they were filming this.
Well, she started like the production and started like the idea of it like when I was 5, and and I actually started acting when I was 4.
Wow.
But I started Girl Meets World, a Disney Channel comedy.
Yeah.
When I was 5. So from 5 to 9, I was doing comedy, and I really wanted to get into another genre like drama, action, horror. Any of them would be exciting to me, because I really wanted to challenge myself as an actor. Yeah. So when I read the script for for Shepherd,
Yeah.
I ran over to my mom and I was like, I have to be Joshua. This is so good. I want to be Joshua.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're the main. I mean, I thought all the act in the beginning, your family was all very, very good, but so much is tasked on you. I guess, like, you know, like, and a lot of it's you being alone or with the dog. Like, I wanted to ask, like, how was it working? Like, did you work with the dog directly, or were you just was it added in afterwards, or like, how did that whole thing work?
So there were actually 5 dogs that played the hero dog, Caleb.
Yeah.
35 dogs shown in the movie altogether,
Okay.
but there was 5 dogs that played the hero dog. And there were trainers on the set, and they would train the dogs to do specific things. So each of the 5 dogs could do certain things. One would be allowed to be hugged, one could growl, one could swim. They all could do different things.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And they would, as I said before, they would teach him to do certain things. And then during the scene, I would actually do those. I would actually be with the dogs. And it was a really cool experience because I have never worked with animals before this, and I've never had a dog. So
Wow, yeah.
yeah, before this, I did not have a dog. So my mom was really concerned about me working with the dog, and I've never worked with animals before. So as she was looking online for dogs to adopt, my uncle shows up to the front door, coincidentally, with a German Shepherd, saying, I need somebody to take this dog. And my mom's like, whose dog is this? I want this dog. And her name is Sailor. And
You still have the dog?
yeah, she's right here.
Oh,
We got the
good.
dog.
We can see Sailor for once. Come here, Sailor. Get up here,
Gotta
Sailor.
get a camera up of this.
There she is.
Let's see.
There she is.
Oh,
that's great.
isn't she beautiful?
Yeah.
I'm so glad Sailor's in this.
I mean, they get such a bad rap. Like, the German Shepherds are some of the nicest dogs, you know.
Mm-hmm. German Shepherds are working dogs.
Yeah.
So they are most happy whenever they feel like they have a job.
Just like actors.
Just like. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to phrase this without, obviously, since we're not. What are you in, like 200 theaters or something like that, Lynn?
No, I
Or
wish.
more than.
No,
Or not that many. Okay.
Yes. Oh gosh, Mark, I'm from from your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in my
great.
town. I know that, but.
Yeah, no, it's not in your town. We're starting a very little rollout, but we're in the big cities. We're in Los Angeles. We're in New York.
Okay.
We're going to Chicago. We're in Detroit, Phoenix, Florida, Miami. Lots of cities in Florida we're going to. So. Yeah, we're trying to roll out because we're not a big studio film.
Yeah, no, it's an independent. It's safe to call it an independent film, right?
Oh, very independent.
Yeah. But I'm trying to phrase this in a way that doesn't give away any spoilers, because honestly, I've never seen, and I don't think it came through in my review as much as I wanted to. I've never seen a scene like this. But like, did Asher write the scene where Joshua's consoling the dog about missing the soldier? Because that was like really like insightful for a kid, especially going through what Joshua was going through, to do. And I felt that August pulled it off so well. I was like, this is powerful.
Isn't it? Didn't he do a beautiful job on that? When he just is talking, you really do believe, because he took his time,
Yeah.
took his time saying to the dog, I'm afraid you miss Ralph.
Yeah.
He could feel, that's what's so interesting, is the relationship between the dog and the boy, that they can sort of read each other's thoughts. I mean, did you just see Sailor looking up at Augie now? Totally in love with him. It was just like, it was goo-goo eyes he was making to Augie.
But I guess what I'm asking is, did you add that to the script, or was that?
Yes, that was not in the book.
In the book, not in the book. Okay. And how was that for you, August? Like, did you like understand at that age what your character was saying,
So I was 10 at the time, and I did understand how important doing this role was, but seeing the movie 3 years later and understanding more about social things going on in the world right now, I see that it's crucial that this movie was shown, especially in this day and age. Like And I think it's really special because younger viewers can also watch it, and it also opens up conversation with their parents about the Holocaust. And
Yeah.
because at least my school, they didn't teach it much, so I actually had to study before doing this role because I didn't know anything about the Holocaust. And I read so many books, like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Number of the Stars, Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah, of course.
Watch movies too, like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas movie. And although I was watching movies to prepare for the role, there weren't many movies that were kid friendly, which I think is really great about this movie. It's a kid friendly Holocaust movie.
Yeah, and Lynn, I mean, you can chime in too. It's like the big, there's like the two big ones, obviously, like Schindler's List and there's The Pianist. But I think that I think that your film has more like in common with like Life is Beautiful. If you've seen that, like
I watched it 10 times before.
yeah, I mean, it's astounding because you take a subject matter. It's like, well, adults, obviously August is giving a different perspective of that. Like I didn't watch Schindler's List till I was in high school, so you're 13 now, and it's like they didn't teach us much about it either too. But adults know what happened. You don't need to see another picture of a bunch of terrible assassinations to know, like, or killings to know what the Holocaust was. So you show these different pictures, and I think that Schindler's List shows the ghettos, and The Pianist shows, or backwards, Pianist shows the ghettos, that Schindler's List shows the concentration camp, and yours shows this, just what happened. I've never seen one that took place in Germany. It was always Poland, and it was just like, the adults trying to hide it from the kids, like how bad it really is. And I guess this brings me to a larger question. I didn't know if this was the point that you're hoping people take out of it. It's just, it's interesting that like they have the signs that say no Jews or dogs allowed, but dogs have more empathy and are kinder than the human beings in the film. And like, with Caleb, it's like he loves Joshua, and he ends up loving Ralph. And it's like, are you trying to say something about just how you have to be taught to hate, kind of?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're making a very good point, and that was a point that I wanted throughout the picture, and I kept it in my mind 24/7, because as I've said many times, I wish we could be more like dogs. I'm sure Augie agrees with me. I learned so much from the dogs that I've owned in my life, that I've lived with.
Yeah.
They are, just their approach to life. They're loyal, they're joyous,
My favorite thing about dogs is that they love unconditionally.
Absolutely. And that, for whatever reason, this dog found some good in Ralph, which is hard to stomach. But the question comes, if the good in Ralph and all those people during that time was more prominent, would this have happened? And how about in the future? This is not only a situation. I mean, this was the most terrible thing that happened, but there are other such analogous things with other peoples that is going on now too. With Syria, with all over the world, there are these things happening.
Some of my best friends, two of my best friends were from Bosnia when that happened in the 90s.
Oh, Bosnia, like, exactly.
All this stuff is just, but that was, and I think that was the thing that shocked me, is that like some of the stuff that, and again, I'm completely avoid spoilers, but some of the stuff Ralph was saying was leading me in a different direction. And then when the Keystone scene happened with August towards the end, I was kind of shocked that it would go that far with
the Nazi,
yeah, with Ralph's character, because he's like kind of like acted good, and then
that showed us that the evil in him took over.
Yeah.
It took over. And then when the dog can't decide who to go to, born between the two of them.
Yeah.
That's also a scene that was put into the movie, into the script really later on.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was part of the theme that this dog had loyalty to Ralph.
Yeah, he doesn't know what a genocide is. He just knows that, it's how did that feel for you all, I guess, with that scene with, in question?
It was beautiful because I can really tell that the dog is, it sees the good in Ralph and also sees the good in Joshua, and it can't decide. It doesn't see the dog doesn't see the bad in the people. The dogs see the good, and that's what I love about dogs so much, because like I said before, they love unconditionally. No matter who you are, they love you. They see the good in you, which is beautiful. And I feel like humans should also be that way.
Yeah, and that's what threw me, is because I feel like when Ralph was talking to the other Nazi about like how humans aren't really much better or worse than dogs, it just it just shocked me that it went in that direction, and I was like, wow, I don't. But I mean, obviously no spoilers. I love the way the movie does wrap itself up. It's very touching, and hopeful, which is what we want.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be too sugar coated. He was
Yeah,
a Nazi, he was a Nazi. He was part of the
yeah,
Nazi party. So we can deal with some of the good parts of him. I mean, Nazis loved beautiful classical music, and they had children that they loved and all of that. But the bad in them took over.
oh
And
yeah,
that's what we have to fight.
yeah, and that's the scary part about the whole thing, is just to depict this. And it's like, I think that I'm gonna forget. I can't remember the father's name.
It's very hard to say. Adam Pierogi. I'm probably not even saying it right. He's a
I mean,
Hungarian.
was it the character's name or the actor's name?
That's the actor's
No, like
name.
the character's name. I can't remember the character's name.
Father's name was Samuel.
Yeah,
Samuel.
okay. He was just like in that kind of denial, like it won't go much farther. And like, what would you be like if that actually happened? It's like, oh, they won't do this, and that's how they did what they did. It's like, now everybody would just run to another country the second the first awfulness started. But back then,
People, that's what happened with a lot of people. They didn't believe. The phrase was, "It will blow over." That's the phrase. It will blow over.
Even with COVID too.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What do you want to say about that, August? Just like people's reaction to it, you mean, or what?
Well, yeah, I feel like some people, like including myself, before like it even came to America, I was like, it's gonna go away. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fine. A few months later, we're stuck in our houses. Like,
No, I know what you mean. I remember having a conversation with my girlfriend, and she's like, "Well, we can't really go out to restaurants anymore." I go, "That's ridiculous. What are you talking about?" Yes, we can. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, "Yeah, we just can't go out anymore." It's just denial. I guess denial, always wins. And you have to overcome it. I guess I wanted to ask, like I saw a little bit, Lynn or August, you might know too. Like, how was the film been doing? Like at the film festival, what awards has it received? Like, how is it doing? Like, critically.
Well, we won the Los Angeles Jewish Film Festival Award.
I
For
did see
best
that.
movie.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was really good. And
I think we also got a Best Picture award, right?
for where?
I forgot which festival. I think we got some kind
Another
of
one, yeah, besides the Los Angeles Jewish Film Festival. But in the theaters, I mean, this has been, some journey.
Yeah.
We're a little independent film.
And we're up there with Cruella and A Quiet Place
Exactly.
too. It was.
When we went to the theaters to do our Q&As, our poster is right next to Cruella and A Quiet Place too. These are two gigantic movies with $20 to $30 million publicity budgets, and we are doing this
That's
ourselves.
amazing. I mean, congratulations, honestly. Like,
but we have had people are coming to the theater, and a lot of people have said to us, I mean, they're hungry for something good and something provocative. Look at the discussion we had today. Look at all the interesting themes we've discussed.
Yeah.
You really can't discuss that after Cruella. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I think you're right. No, you're definitely right. And I think that was funny. I put it at the beginning of my review. I think it's funny that you guys are opening with Cruella. You got this villainess that like ends up kidnapping all these dogs to murder them for fur coats, and then you got your film about a dog showing hope in one of the worst periods of human history.
Yeah. but I'm, we're the little engine that could. I think that's what we are. And we got a beautiful review in the Los Angeles Times, and that has, just kind of skyrocketed us to all kinds of new things. And the Variety gave us a nice review, and all you guys, all the bloggers, and it's been very nice.
The articles, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and whatever they say, it's you can say whatever it is. I read a lot of the reviews. I think I commented on it. I didn't agree with a lot of some of the negative stuff, but they say good indie publicity is good publicity. You got reviewed by RogerEbert.com.
What?
You got reviewed by RogerEbert.com.
Yeah, but if this guy, this guy better not come near me. That's all I can say.
I won't bring up content. I'm just saying that's pretty big that some movie, the small movie got to that site.
Well, I don't know, but
I touched a nerve. I didn't mean to. I read the review too. So.
I've been in this business a long time. I've gotten a lot of reviews and critics. I think that critics can criticize. They can say whatever they want, but to be cruel, to have people or snarky or sarcastic. Let me see what you've done. Let me see the movies you've made, critic.
Yeah, I think that
you've written.
No, that's why one of my favorite. I definitely understand what you're saying. Like one of my it's just this music band that I listen to. You probably never heard of them. They're called maybe you have. They're called Airborne Toxic Event.
Airborne Toxic Event.
Yeah, it's a weird, but they're kind of a low level rock band. But the lead singer and the creator of the band used to be a music critic. And then started a band, and I thought that was so interesting that he knows like what he's up for. He's like, I used to criticize, now I'm doing it. It's like
well, he'll see, and
yeah, but no, I'm glad you guys are doing well and getting the publicity you need. I mean, what's next for the film, Lynn?
Well, we open in Florida a week from today. We open in Chicago a week from today. Las Vegas. Then we hope to, eventually go to. We can't just be a studio and open in 1,000 theaters at once. We have to do little by little. I hope to do Boston, Washington. That would be just the greatest. And then go to some of the small towns. Probably we're not going to get to Syracuse, but who knows?
We have a museum, an art museum that plays indie films, and the Capitol Theater in Rome plays, like they play all the Parasite, all the independent things.
Good.
So maybe,
maybe we could come there.
Yeah, but no, I definitely enjoyed the film greatly. I think people should see it. Do you have any publicity or anything that you want to say about the film for people that are interested in seeing it, like website, social media, they can find more information?
Oh, sure. You want to give them where to find, all your handles and everything?
Well, I do have a movie coming up in the fall called Slapface, and it's a thriller, and I'm really excited about that one. And it's about a boy who deals with the loss of his parents and befriends a witch in the forest, and he deals with bullies and stuff. And I think it's a really good film, and I'm really excited for it to come out. It comes out in the fall of this year.
Yeah, he does a great job in that. But in terms of your question in this film, well, we're still in New York. We're at Kew Gardens. We're at I don't know when this interview is going to go, when you're going to post it, but
probably this week, this coming week.
So we're still at Kew Gardens. We're at Village East. We're opening at Malvern, Belmore in Queens. We're in Los Angeles in the Lemleys right now. We're in Detroit at the Maple Theater. Scottsdale, Arizona. We're at Harkins, and we're on Facebook if anybody wants to talk to us. And
you guys have a website or just Facebook?
Yes, there's a website. Of course, there is a website.
What's that? Just the is it J Dog? What is it?
Shepherd, a Jewish Dog Movie. Shepherd, a Jewish Dog Movie. We're on social media. We have as much of a presence as we can get, but our feeling is we waited and didn't go digital. We wanted people to come to the theaters.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you're going to do streaming in the future, or if that's.
We are, but we're going to hold out as long as we possibly can, because when people say, "Oh, just going to wait till it gets on,"
I know it's better. It's better to see things in the big screen, especially something, soulful and.
You know, having not been in the theater, I'm sure Augie feels, having not been in the theater for over a year and 3 months,
Yeah.
when we went back into the theaters to watch our own
It feels
Yeah.
so different. Like seeing a movie from home, you pause it, you get up, you go to the bathroom, get some snack, you know, but in the theater, it feels really different, and you're there, you know. And it's such a cool experience after not being able to be there for a year.
I know.
It just has a different vibe to it, you know.
Did you guys watch it with an audience?
Oh my God! Well, we've had our festivals, you know, so we
Yeah.
watched it with big audiences. Now there's still social distancing. You know,
Oh.
if you have a theater with 45 people in it, they will close the screening. You can't have more than that. At the beginning, when we first started this, we had audiences of 6 in Atlanta. We had 600 here. We had 500 in Los Angeles. So we've watched the movie with a lot of people.
How was the reaction? That's what I wanted to ask you.
The more people you watch it with, the bigger the reaction. And
Yeah.
it's so, you know, people are going, and they, when Augie, at the end, they clap when the dog and him.
Yeah, we can't, but yeah.
No, there's something about a collective experience, sitting in that darkened room with all those people, sharing the experience, that's really thrilling, exciting.
And plus, you know, I know you got another commitment soon, but I'll just say, like, yeah, you really sidestepped convention, I feel, because I won't say anything about the actual ending, but the way you set up the film, I was set up to believe that something else could have happened, sad, you know, and I was happy the way it did end, even though it was.
Well, that's not a spoiler for people that are afraid to see it. You know, we are dog lovers. We're animal activists.
The boy and the dog do not die.
Nothing. Nothing is going to happen to this dog.
Not even that, but just the way it actually, you know, how it ended up, and like it's just like so many bad things happened to Joshua, and you know, it's just like sometimes we need a little hope, you know, to get us through.
And he survived, which some people were fortunate enough to do at that time. And you know, that's what we're about, is surviving.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys get going. I know you got somewhere to be at 7:30. Thank you both for joining us on the Movie Buff, and I'll send
Ushul.
I was gonna try to think the Bush thing, but you don't. I'll send Ushul the link, and if you have any questions, you can let us know. And I know that you're following us on Twitter, I think, August. So if you have any questions, just hit me up and we'll get back to you. All right.
It was such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and good luck in the future. I mean, like I said, you really emotionally, you did a great job, and I hope that acting continues to grow for you. And Lynn, if you make another movie, think of us, please.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was good discussions.
Absolutely. Have a nice night, both of you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.